My headphones are echoey. I'm using the wrong ones. I think.
And we're, as always, off and running.
Congratulating
ourselves.
ourselves.
Jeez.
But I like to
I
start
hate
with
these
some.
soft opens.
Yeah, why? Why? What?
Well,
What's
because
wrong with
I'm in the middle of talking, and you guys are like, "Oh, here we go!" Like,
This
okay.
is, by the way,
great.
this is a welcome to Dudo Underwhelming Demand.
Oh, have we started now?
Yeah, with Dave, Rachel,
this is
Foreman.
it now.
Yeah,
That was a hard open.
Yeah, the podcast that's like reading a good book. You can't wait to get to the end. I mean, it's just basically what
Some days, yeah.
what we do here. Anyway, thank you for being with us. Here we are.
Yeah. I have to tell you about this fiasco we had right before our trip. We went to the Dominican Republic,
Mm-hmm.
and we went with our whole family. It was me, Jeremy, the kids, my sister's family, my mom and her partner, and Jeremy's parents. All of us went.
Wow, obviously
Together.
not with Sunwing.
It was Sunwing. Yeah, it
Oh,
was Sunwing.
and you lived to
Yeah.
tell the tale.
Well,
I
wow.
know. I know.
think we should
But it's
explore that at a different date because
Yeah.
that to me
Sunwing.
is some sort of
I don't know. They're
That's
still booking. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, but that's the vacation from hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why you take vacations, to get away from those people. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't it?
I
Sorry.
guess. Yeah,
I mean,
it's yes.
I mean, I'm not saying your mom or Jeremy's parents aren't nice people.
Oh, I thought you meant on Sunwing. No, I'm
We can also
here
explore
I am
that
agreeing
too.
with you. I didn't know you were talking about the
Yeah,
family.
I thought it was
no,
funny that
no,
you were
it's
agreeing
fun with
with
the
it, yeah.
family.
A couple close
Listen,
family
I-
members, fine, but an extended family reunion is
You're
a
gonna-
lot.
Yeah.
Put me
Well,
in
it
it.
was just like everybody was, and then we were like, "You want to come? You want to come?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." We're like, "Okay." I swore off group vacations years ago,
Sounds
as you
like
both
it.
know. And yeah, I know. After several very bad experiences on different trips, and I decided to give it a go again. We went out east with my sister and other family members this summer. It was great. We all had fun. The key is having your own space, having your own room, your own hotel
No
room,
kidding.
your
Yeah,
own
well, you
cottage,
don't all
your
wanna be in
own
this-
whatever.
You don't want to all be
No.
in the same room.
Oh God! Well, in the same house, like that's a lot.
Right.
That's everybody
That's too
needs
much.
their own
Okay.
private space to retreat to when
Well,
they've
we
had
could-
enough of everybody else.
We can explore that later because I still have many
Oh, yeah.
questions. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
This to me,
This fiasco
Yeah,
before
I
we
mean,
left.
and the reason
I mean,
I
it's
want
just
you to
up
talk.
to the reason to have a vacation.
This is why I want to talk about
Oh.
this because the one thing that Foreman and I can tell you about Rachel is that, and a lot of people suffer from this. I suffer a little bit from it myself, but Rachel is anxious. She has anxiety. She has panic attacks sometimes over
Well,
you
I
know
had a
smaller
couple.
things. Over smaller things.
Yeah,
You know,
this
people
kind
do.
of this induced a panic attack.
Okay, and that's why I
Mhm.
want you to talk because of all the people in the world, I don't know how you found yourself in this situation. Because you're the person that has the freezer that's always full.
I know.
Because I don't want that to be empty.
I was kicking myself. So
You have
what happened was,
You have a generator at home, don't you?
yes,
Because you don't want to be without power.
never used it, but we have one.
Oh, can I
That's
use
right.
it out here? Because I would get a lot of use out
Get a
of
lot
it.
of use
Yeah,
out there.
I thought we would too.
Yeah.
Fun fact: as soon as you buy a generator,
You don't need
won't-
one.
You won't ever need one. That's how you stave off power outages.
Okay.
Okay.
So what
Not
happened here?
So we booked this trip months and months ago, probably in because we went the end of January. We booked it in like September, October, maybe. Everybody, and I realized Julia, my 9-year-old, her passport had expired during the pandemic. So I thought, okay, I got to get her a new passport, and it was at the height of everybody needs a new passport, right? So I mailed it away because we weren't in a rush at the time, and it took like 6 months, but we finally got it. So we're all good. Did I check anyone else's passports? No. And therein lies the problem. So I'm going on like 3 days before our trip, trying to fill out this form and check in or whatever. And I realize my 5-year-old's passport has expired.
3 days before you
days.
leave.
Well, I found out Monday night, and we left Friday morning. So yeah, I was
Oh,
beside myself. As soon as I saw it, now this is January, and her passport had expired in December. So like a month before, not even a month. I don't know why I didn't think about this when I signed her up and gave the passport for the tickets or whatever. It was all valid because it was 2022. It didn't register in my brain that we were going away in 2023. And I was like, oh my gosh. So as soon as I saw her passport, I thought my heart dropped into my stomach. And Jeremy's like, what? And I was like, Kendall's passport's expired. And he was like, oh, what are we going to do? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Like, everyone's so excited for this trip. Like, the kids have been so excited. I said, okay, I'll stay home with her. You're going to go with Julia. I'll get her a passport. We'll redo our flight. We'll come later and we'll meet you there. And he's like, no, I'll stay home. And I'm like, no, you go. This is my fault. I should have noticed. I'm so on top of this stuff.
I can't believe you wouldn't know that.
I can't either. I am usually on top of this. Like, I've had my passport stolen when I was in my 20s. I was in Barcelona, had it stolen. Ever since then, I've really kept an eye on passports. Like, I've been really careful, or I've tried to be. But I, for some reason, did not register in my brain that her 2022 passport would be expired by the time we went on vacation.
2023 arrived? Yeah,
yeah,
it does.
It didn't register to me that we were leaving in 2023. I don't know why. Who knows? Because she was a baby when this passed. And I look at it and I thought, before it registered that it was expired, I was like, she's a baby. Why is this still a baby photo of her? And then I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I was literally panicking. I was shaking that whole night, panicking. Then we're looking up, okay, how can we get a passport? Like, how do we do this? Are the lineups still crazy?
Yeah.
So the next morning, we went to Shoppers Drug Mart as soon as it opened. We were there 5 minutes early and waited for them to unlock the door. Got a passport photo taken. I screamed over to the passport office in London, waited in line, and it was only an hour and a half wait.
Wow.
Thank God.
That's nothing.
I like brought my computer. I had food. I was ready for an 8-hour day.
Oh, wow.
But it was only an hour and a half.
Well, we were...
and the guy was like unfazed. I'm like, I can't believe I did this. He's like, this happens all the time. He's like, we'll have it ready for you tomorrow.
Wow.
What?
Really?
Yes.
Really? Come on.
I couldn't believe... I mean, you pay a premium for that. That's fine.
Okay. You had to pay extra for that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I could have actually had it. I could have picked it up 2 days later, which would have still given us time. It was a day before the trip, though. And I was like, no, I'll just pay the extra. I want it in my hands. I don't care. Like, I'm paying, it was like $155.
You don't want to go through that again.
No.
You don't want to go through the...
What an idiot, though. I can't believe I did that. I've been kicking myself. I cannot believe I did that. That's so unlike me.
Well, we were scheduled to do a recording.
Yes.
And
I texted you saying, guys, I got to cancel.
I got to
I'm going to
cancel.
spend the whole day at the passport office.
And I didn't see your text till, first thing in the morning, and I looked at it and I went, ooh.
Yeah. Oh my God. I couldn't.
And so I said something to Jana. I said, Rachel's daughter's passport's expired. She's freaking out. And Jana goes, oh.
How does she not know that? Well, I'm an idiot. I have no idea. Like, that would be my first reaction to somebody. How do you not check that?
Well, we were Ashley checked.
That was my first reaction to myself.
We were close. In December, the girls needed new pictures and new passports, and then they came in the mail in January, so we're good to go next week. But good. I did get yelled at when getting passports. We all got them within the same couple of days, and theirs are 5 years. And then I got yelled at because I went on my own and got a 10-year one. I don't have to worry about anything.
No, 10 years are great. That's what I did.
But it's my fault for being prepared enough to think ahead to not be in this.
She only got the 5-year for Ashley? Yeah. The kids can only get 5 years, I think.
They can
I know,
only
but
get
she
5
got
anyway.
the same for herself.
Oh, no.
So that she had to renew at the same time.
Yeah.
No, they offered me that option. But here's the funny thing. After I read your text about all of that, I went... I wonder where our passports are. That we just got one for Charlotte needed a new.
Yeah,
she needed a new one this last year. So I checked, and turns out I got the 10-year one nearly 10 years ago. It's okay.
It's fine
I'm-
for this next
I'm
trip.
okay for this year,
Okay.
but I got.
Then you'll need a new one.
I'm gonna need a new one. So
Okay, this
thanks.
is your sign to check your passport
Yeah.
expiry date
Yeah.
and see when you need a new
Thanks,
one.
Rach. I appreciate that.
I wasn't the only person. There was like 3,
yeah.
4 people in front of me who
Of
I heard
course.
who were also getting urgent.
Panicking. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And everybody at the passport office was lovely, I have to say, and very calm about it because this is what they see every day.
Yeah. And
Idiots like me waltzing in being like, I need a passport tomorrow.
look, those people have been through hell for the last 6,
Oh, yeah.
8, 10
Oh, for
months.
sure.
So yeah, think about it. Yeah.
Oh.
This is due to underwhelming demand with Dave, Rachel, and Foreman, and it is time. We haven't done this for a while. It is time for good idea, bad idea.
Oh, we haven't done this in a while.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea.
All right, what do you got today?
Well, I'm going to talk about something that I talked about several months ago on the podcast, or several episodes ago, because I don't know how long ago it was, but several episodes ago. Remember, I talked to you about how I was getting ads on my iPad for already buttered bread, which I thought was genius.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Sarah Lee makes a bread that's already buttered.
Right.
Or butter bread or whatever they call it. And I said, this ad popped up. And then I was in the U.S. and I saw the bread at, I think I was at either a Target or a Meijer or whatever, a Kroger. I don't know. Anyway, I saw the bread. And I thought, well, I want to buy that. And my wife looked at me. Janet just said, we're not getting that. And I went, oh.
I think it's
Anyway.
a bad idea.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a genius idea. So anyway,
Good idea.
at Christmas, we were with good friends. We're all opening gifts, and I get this gift handed to me. I don't know what it is, but it was wrapped. So I start opening it. It's apparent to me that it's a loaf of bread. So as I open
At
it a bit more at Christmas time, as I'm opening it, it's Sara Lee buttered bread.
Oh,
They
okay.
had just returned from the U.S. and bought me my
What do you-
Sara Lee buttered bread.
What do you get the man who has everything?
I was over.
Pre-buttered bread.
I'm telling you right now, yes, but you know what you want when you give someone a Christmas gift?
What?
You want to see their eyes bug out.
Mm.
You want to see that look of joy, that look that says, this is the best gift ever. That's what I
Yes.
said. That's
Have you
what
seen-
I said.
Pause for a second. The little girl who asked for broccoli for Christmas, and it was a viral video that went around. She's like 5 years old, and she asked for broccoli, and she got it. They just wrapped a head of broccoli,
And she would have been thrilled.
Yes, that's
Thrilled.
Dave with his buttered bread.
I'm telling you right now, with the butter bread was something. It was like we did the same thing. Charlotte, when she was really, really young, all she wanted, because we tried to discourage, and not that there's anything wrong with cheese strings, but she loved cheese strings, maybe a little too much. So she would get them as a treat. She asked Santa Claus for cheese strings. That's all she wanted.
Perfect.
She sat on his lap.
I remember that year. I
and
remember
she asked
that.
for cheese strings, and I should have filmed it because she found cheese strings in her stocking, and her eyes bugged out, and she said,
Aw.
"He remember
Aww.
cheese strings." So
Santa
I
brought
got
her cheese strings.
yeah. So I got the already buttered bread. I was over the moon, over the moon.
Did
I'm
anyone
telling
film
you,
you?
I couldn't stop talking.
I
about
wish
my
that they'd
already.
filmed you.
Anyway, long story short. It's really not that good.
Bad idea.
It's just really not that good. After all that,
Oh,
it was the Christmas holidays, and at one point I think Janice said we got up in the morning. What do you want to have for breakfast today? And she goes, "Well, what about some poached eggs?" And I went, "Oh, can we have poached eggs on already buttered toast?"
yeah.
Sure. Yes, you can.
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
Okay.
So we cracked open that bag of bread, and it just really wasn't that.
Oh.
It wasn't.
It's not like buttering your own bread.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
Drip. It was like,
Did you toast it?
Yeah, toast your own bread and throw your own butter
So
on.
you're toasting it
yeah,
with
Sa-
the butter on it.
Sara Lee doesn't. Yeah, I
That
should have
sounds
known
amazing.
I should have known when the Sara Lee bread.
I
When
don't
I saw
know.
the
I
bread,
think it's
it was.
unnecessary.
It wasn't in the. It wasn't in the. You would think if there's real butter in there, wouldn't it be in the fridge?
I'm not expecting it to be real butter. What, your expectations were real butter?
I thought this was the
salted butter is probably shelf stable for a while.
Anyway,
But I
thought,
bet you they put other preservatives in
It-
there.
Oh, says
Turns
Rachel, the one who freezes her butter.
yes, of course.
Yes.
Anyway,
but
turns out it's
FYI,
not.
it's shelf stable.
I'm just saying,
Probably as long as the bread is good.
not that it, not that I can do anything about it now, but I take back that it was the greatest thing since sliced bread because
Okay, sliced bread is better.
Sliced bread is still sliced bread.
Well, at
Bad
least we have
idea.
the updates.
Yes, now you know.
Thank God.
Now
So that
you
was
know.
a bad idea.
Yes, bad idea.
All right.
Well, I have something that has to be a good idea.
Okay.
It's a British construction piece of machinery that is, to purchase expensive. If you were to buy this for your municipality, say, it would be
Okay.
almost $300,000.
Oh wow.
But it will reduce the per pothole cost of repair by as much as 50%. That's right, a machine that can repair a pothole in 8 minutes.
Good idea.
8 minutes. You
8
mean it won't
Wow.
take 3 months and 20 men?
Oh.
As little as 8 minutes with but one operator. One crew
One
member
person.
to operate it. If you're doing the
Wow.
math and it weren't for travel time, that would be 6 or 7 potholes an hour, about 60 or so in a day, and more than 100 if you gave one to the night crew as well.
Okay.
You know who invented this?
Who's that?
The one woman who's on the crew.
No, maybe.
It's like, I don't need the rest of you. I
No.
can do this myself.
No.
I'll show you. I'll prove you. And
No.
I can do it in
No.
8 minutes.
No, and
Not
I'll tell
only
you-
can I do it myself,
I'll tell you why.
I'll do it in 8 minutes.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this. Well, I think this is a great idea, Foreman, and I think sometimes it takes forever for a municipality to fix the pothole. It's not the speed that's the problem. It's the red tape and all of that stuff that's the problem. Because I was out for a walk 2-3 weeks ago in the neighborhood. We haven't had a lot of snow or anything so far this year, but you still have potholes. And there was the City of London truck driving down the one road, and I actually watched them as they progressed. And one guy was in the back with a shovel, and the other guy was driving.
Yeah.
And so they would stop right in the middle of the road, and the guy in the back would take his shovel and put some asphalt.
Yeah.
I don't know how hot it was, but he would put it in, and then with the back end of his shovel, pat it down,
Mm-hmm.
and off they went.
Why
I
can't
would
they
say
do that all the time?
30 seconds.
No, this is not that. This
I bet you this fixes it. You'll never need it
performs-
fixed again.
It performs all the tasks
And it's seamless, I
that
bet.
the Ontario Asphalt Paving Council deems necessary for robust repair. They have a 600 millimeter wide planer that cuts out all the asphalt around the hole.
Oh.
Then a
okay.
hydraulic cropper cuts the entire area into a nice square grid. And lastly, a sweeper with built-in dust suppressor, no less, brushes the surface to be repaired completely clean, something the OAPC says is absolutely essential to rugged repair. Said brush also collects all the loose asphalt, helping reduce the mess and providing material for recycling. Like, come on.
This
it
sounds
does
like a necessity
everything.
for every municipality.
Yes, it
If only they'll get
rebuilds.
them done quickly.
It's not just filling it with some hot asphalt, giving it a tap and driving it away. It's repairing the road.
I think doing it with the shovel, that's just a stopgap measure.
I'm just telling you that's what I see. That's what I saw.
That's because they don't have this machine
Mm.
and the woman who created it.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Foreman. And shout out to our sponsors. We're going to talk about Melissa Photography shortly. But let's talk about Calves for a Cause.
Yes, thank you to Calves for a Cause for sponsoring, and we're hoping that you will participate in their auction on April 5th if you're in the market for a calf, because they're selling a bunch of them. They're auctioning off a bunch of them. Daryl and Sarah Marcus created Calves for a Cause a couple of years ago, and all proceeds go to the Children's Hospital Foundation here in London, at London Health Sciences Centre, because their son Brooks spent a lot of time in the NICU and PCCU and in the hospital. He was diagnosed shortly after birth with congenital central hypoventilation syndrome and also Hirschsprung's disease. So they've spent a lot of time at Children's and they wanted to give back. And this has actually been really successful for them because in the first year they raised $71,000 for Children's, and the second year they raised $35,000. Now we want to surpass that this year, so we need you to take part. So it's Calves for a Cause, and it's happening April 5th during the Canadian Dairy Expo in Stratford.
Find them on social media. They're just Calves for a Cause on Facebook or Instagram, and you can really you can dig deep and see what kind of calves you're getting. There's a great close-up inspection of a certain Jersey cow's udder. Because this udder on this heifer was purchased from Calves for a Cause in 2021, and it looks pretty good. She should be calving any day now.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
You gotta look at
Get
the
your
udder.
money's worth.
You gotta look at the udder.
You gotta look at it's the yeah.
Exactly. You get a good calf, and they can make more calves.
Right.
Wow. No,
absolutely.
Well, that's exactly right.
So
anyway,
Calves for a Cause.
I love the fact that and we appreciate their support of Daryl and Sarah, and I know that my wife Gianna may have had a little. She may have helped a little bit with some of this. I'm not sure. I don't know because she is, if you don't know, is a respiratory therapist, and she works with a lot of parents and children who will be tending to care at home, and they have to be taught how to use machines and taught how to do certain things.
Sure, yeah.
And so she works with parents and she works with children, loves her job, and she knows Daryl and Sarah. So what I like about this is that while the commission from the sale of each calf is being donated to the Children's Health Foundation, and you can raise an awful lot of money doing that. So shout out to everybody that's involved in doing this, including Daryl and Sarah, because there are a lot of people who are involved. And support them.
Yeah, any dairy farmers in your life, I mean, you need to make sure that they know about this, because if you need a calf anyway, why not make sure that you're buying one where all your money helps out Children's Health Foundation?
Great idea.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Calves for a Cause on Facebook or on Instagram. It's Calves for a Cause with dots in between periods.
April 5th.
Is your beer gone, Plummer?
No, it's about half gone.
Oh, you crushed that while we were talking?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast where Foreman and Dave have a beer. Yeah. And we are Dave, Rachel, and Foreman. Apparently, and I am not really deep into TikTok.
No surprise.
Shit. Surprise.
Do you even have an account?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I gotta keep an eye on what my daughter's doing. I guess I have TikTok. Of course. Anyway, apparently the kids on TikTok are realizing they've been calculating their birthday wrong all these years. That when you and I just recently celebrated a happy January, happy saddest day of the year birthday.
Oh yeah, your birthday really sucks.
No, yeah, it's terrible. That when you turn a certain age, like for instance, one of the three of us is about ready to celebrate a significant birthday this year.
Yeah,
it's not me. And it's not Foreman.
Nope.
But anyway, just to point out to you that when you are actually celebrating a birthday, you're not actually starting that age, you're finishing that age. So in other words, when you turn, let's just pick a number at random, 40. Just grab that number at random.
Where'd you get that from?
When you turn 40, you actually have been, you were in your 40th year all the way through. You're finishing 40. So that's
depressing. Why are we talking about this?
So if you're 39 this year, sorry,
just say
you're not. You're going to be 40. And if you're 40 this year, happy 41st.
Well, you're not. It's not till like the next day. Like it's not your birthday. It's the next day. Then you're in your 41st year.
You're basically saying goodbye to that. I guess 40th.
Yeah. Okay. So say someone were to turn 40, maybe at the end of May.
Yes, of course. Yes.
They're in their 41st year. is what you're saying.
Well,
So I've
you know,
actually,
the big
I've
part-
been around
if
for
there's-
40. No, because then
You
I've been
are-
around for 40 years.
Yeah.
I
You are-
mean, they have been around for 40 years.
40 years. Yes, yes. Let's say you were
So
to have a big
They
a
haven't been
blowout-
around for 41 years yet.
a blowout birthday party when you turn 40. Let's just say maybe somebody is planning that. I don't know.
I don't know. I doubt
anybody
it.
that would be planning that. Or
Right.
maybe you're going to. I know someone who's turning 40 this year, who's actually 41, who's planning to take a trip and not be around. Doesn't want to see any flamingos on his lawn. Doesn't want any of that stuff.
Okay.
Right. So
All right.
essentially, when you have that big 40th, let's say, surprise party
Yeah.
on your birthday
Mhm.
at the stroke of midnight, happy
Mhm.
41st.
Off, Dave.
Listen,
How old did you
age-
turn in January? 68. Can I say that? I did.
You just did. So I guess you can.
So
I
you're
don't
in
know.
your 69th year.
Yeah, sure. And what a great year that'll be. Yeah.
What year am I in? And your answer depends
What
on whether or
year
not your
are you
age
in?
stays edited in the podcast.
I think you're going to be entering your 39th, I think.
Oh,
You're
your
gonna
age is staying in, it seems.
be- Yeah.
Your age is staying in.
Yeah.
I want all the flamingos. I want my
No.
lawn flocked
Sure, whatever.
with flamingos.
Listen.
I want a part. You know what? It's not bothering me as much to turn 40 as it did to turn 30 for some reason.
Well,
Okay,
I
well-
had a giant surprise party for my 30th birthday. Rachel was there.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
With a beer cake.
And it
It was a cake in the shape of a beer.
But you
It
were
was
actually
great.
30. You were just celebrating the end of your 30th birthday.
right. I might.
Right.
I know. I was going to say I might as well have been 31
depressing.
without a celebration because I thought I was going into a surprise hotel room just with Ashley, and it turns out
turns out we
Rachel
were all
and
there.
20 other people were in there.
Yes.
So, yeah. Sometimes it's
Not
good,
not as fun.
yeah, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Well, listen, age is this, whatever. Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut, he was the second man on the moon.
The
Which is-
second.
Yeah,
Who's
he's
the other
the
one?
guy that you go, like a Neil Armstrong, one
Oh, yeah,
small
Neil
step for
Armstrong.
man,
Yeah.
one
Right.
giant leap for mankind, and then the other
And
guy.
Neil
came-
Armstrong's died already. Is that right?
Neil Armstrong, and they made a movie about him.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
First Man.
and sure,
First
they
I
Man
didn't
on the
see a
moon.
movie
make-
called
no,
Second
There's
Man.
no movie
No.
called Second Man.
Oh, it sucks to be second, doesn't it? You're
So
the
anyway,
first loser.
Well, he's Buzz Aldrin, and he's still with us, and he just celebrated recently his 94th birthday by getting
Oh.
married
Whoa.
to his
Oh.
fourth wife.
Whoa.
She's 63.
Whoa.
A
Oh
30-year
my, okay.
30-year age difference. And
He's
you can
93 and she's 63.
yeah. And you can say
That's
well,
quite an age gap.
yeah, and
but I
that's-
guess when you're
yeah.
90,
You can say that that's creepy, I think, maybe, but essentially if you're
if they
90,
were younger, yeah, it would be creepy.
well, if you're 93, it's Price is Right rules. You have to be you want to be under, not over.
yeah, I mean, you can only go lower.
Yeah.
Really.
There's-
If you're 93, who
Who
else
am I
is right?
gonna? Where am I gonna
You know
meet
what? I
somebody
think-
older than me when I'm 93?
Oh, you're
I'm
not. No, or
Right.
even the same age. I think the same people are at his age. He's,
Mhm.
I mean, it's slim pickings, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, so hats off to Buzz Aldrin, who got married a 63-year-old.
Like if he was 60 and
Sure.
she was 30, I would think that that's weird.
Yeah.
You know, because when he was 30, she was a baby. So that's weird.
Well,
But now that he's 90 and she's 60, I'm like,
it's fine.
It's
fine.
everyone
and it's
else
hard to
fine.
find people at that. I
It's
think
fine.
everybody's either
yes. Because
gone,
everyone else he
or
starts chatting
they've
up
paired
who's
up.
entered
Yeah.
their 94th year,
Mhm.
suddenly disappears on him.
All I know about Buzz
Yeah.
Aldrin is he's the second man on the moon, and he once, I believe, Foreman, and you can back me up here, he was once somewhere speaking about, being the second guy on the moon. He went to the moon, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on
Yeah,
the
he's-
moon.
yes.
Second, albeit not first. Second.
But
he
he
was
made it.
on. He made
Yeah.
it to the moon.
I've never been to the moon.
And one of those dudes, one of those, conspiracy people stood up and, they had microphones and maybe he was doing a question and answer or something. I'd have to look this up. I don't know if I have the story correct, but all I do know is he was probably in his late 80s at this thing. And
Yeah.
this guy stands up and says, you didn't go to the moon, did you? And Buzz Aldrin
Oh,
popped him. He cold cocked him.
What?
Right in
He
the
did?
right in the beaner.
He just walked over and punched him?
Yes.
There you go.
He's probably fed up with these people who don't believe that they
Am I right,
all think
Foreman?
it's a conspiracy that he's gone to the moon. He's like, I've been to the moon. I don't need this.
Yes, I don't need you guys telling me.
I don't need you people.
I went there.
Imagine you've gone to the moon and
It's
then you
not
have to
bad
come
enough.
back to Earth
Yes.
and deal with all these people
It's not bad
and
enough
deal
that
with the rest of us.
I was the second guy on the moon, not the
Yes.
first. Second. As we all
Yes.
know, no one wants to win the silver medal.
No, that's true.
Give me third, give me
Yep.
first.
Sure.
Otherwise, we don't want silver.
No, silver's the worst one, I think.
That's yes, because
Yeah.
you were almost first.
Right. You
But
just
you
didn't
weren't.
get out there fast enough.
So what happened
Right?
for me? Did he bopped some guy, right? Am I right?
This was over 20 years ago.
perfect.
Okay, so
So-
he was like 70.
70, yeah, a lot more
Still.
gusto
He's
there.
90 now. Good gusto
Buzz
in his
Aldrin
head.
punches a guy for harassing him about moon landing.
Right, okay. He's a conspiracy theorist, the guy that he punched.
Well, anyway, hats off to Buzz Aldrin. He got married on his 93rd birthday, and he popped a guy in the beak.
Yeah.
You know what? I think if you're an astronaut and you've been to the moon, you can do whatever you want. You're probably
Update,
sick of all of us Earthlings anyway.
update, man punched in the face by Buzz Aldrin still insists moon landing was fake.
He deserves to be punched.
Okay.
He deserves it.
Yeah, he deserved it. Yep, no question. This is Due to Underwhelming Demand, the podcast with Dave, Rachel, and Foreman. And time to talk about another sponsor.
Yeah.
Two sponsors. How can that be?
Listen, if you would like to sponsor, you can email us anytime, daverachelforeman@gmail.com. We've had several inquiries, so right now we have 2 sponsors, and there's other spots available. So if you'd like to sign up, we would love to have you.
Well, if you would like, some real life candid moments captured, where you're laughing, telling stories, expressing emotions,
All that.
you're not overly, set up, and it doesn't look cold and stiff. You may want a lifestyle photographer. That's who we have.
Melissa Photography.
Melissa Photography. She's based out of Belmont, but she photographs all over the region, from like Huron County to Elgin County and everywhere in between. You can check her out. Her website is melissaphotography77.mypixieset.com, or look her up on Instagram, Melissa Photofolio, or Facebook, M Photo Page, Melissa Photography. Just check her out. Her stuff's awesome. I love the candid stuff. It's very casual and fun looking. Lifestyle photography, I think that completely suits her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you want a newborn photo session, she's not going to just pose your baby in a basket. We'll actually have a candid capture and of you holding your kid and being having a real family connection.
Yeah, her stuff's beautiful. You've got to check it out. So if you're looking for a newborn session, like you said, family photos, she does wedding photos. She also does wedding planning. So maybe you could get a photographer and planner in one. And she's a great photographer.
Well, and it's early in the year, but apparently she has some. If you happen to be getting married this year, and you still don't have some of that stuff looked after, she has dates available this year. And and she's probably it's sometimes not easy to find somebody, but if there are dates available, who knows?
And someone who's good too.
Yes.
Photography is important for your wedding. So check out Melissa Photography on her website, which is Melissa Photography 77, the numbers 77.mypixieset.com.
Thank you, by the way. A shout out just before you have an email, right? You have an email that you're going to share with us?
Yeah, we got an email.
Okay. Just a big shout out to both our sponsors, Calves for a Cause and Melissa Photography. Thank you for the support. And, you can get this podcast pretty much anywhere. But if you get it on Apple Podcasts, you can rate us if you want. And you should rate us highly.
I think you can rate us on Spotify and iHeart. I think you should be able to everywhere.
Give us a rating. We like that.
Yeah.
If you hate us, let us know. Yeah.
Okay, our email is from Dave Scott. Thank you to Dave for sending us an email.
Okay.
He says, I love the show and the unfiltered version even more. Nothing wrong with the occasional F-bomb, especially the Foreman's chopping wood episode.
Oh,
And then he says, shout out to your sponsor, Forest Beer Brewery. Great beer that I discovered from the Due to Underwhelming Demand podcast.
Well, isn't that
and
great?
he sends a picture of him drinking the beer at a lake, which looks very relaxing.
I have my can
So
of
sponsorship works.
I have my can of Forest beer right here that I'm.
Oh,
that's what you're
nice. I
drinking
can't see
right
it.
now.
I'm having right now.
Oh,
actually.
perfect.
So if you don't mind, are we done?
I'm having my water,
Okay.
so I have work to do.
You're a lot of fun.